Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on Ridge Life we are going to build some gates for our Ridge farmhouse fence. We've got a rough cut cypress fence here that's seen better days. We're going to replace a bunch of these boards, get it all painted, but before we do that we need to build a couple gates. We've got a double utility gate that we need to complete and mount to the house there, and we also have a man gate we need to build from scratch. So let's get that built and start on the job. We're going to start with a double gate here. As you can see, I've already got it framed out. We're just going to finish it out, and then of course we'll build the man gate here. Now this fence was built before we bought the property. It's a rough cut cypress, and I don't know if they painted it too soon while it was green, but it really rotted out quickly. So we're going to replace all those boards with rough cut cedar. The dimensions are a little bit smaller. I couldn't get the exact milled dimensions, but it's going to look just fine, and we have let it dry out in the barn so it's not going to be green. Now we're not going to paint it just yet either, so we'll do that on a different video. But we're going to finish out this double gate and then we'll build the man gate. The double gate is next to the house, and we've got to mount it to the house, and I'll show you why here in just a second. As you can see, where our double gate should meet up with the house here, we don't have an end post to mount the hinges to. Now I could tear up the concrete and dig a post hole and put that post down in there, but instead of doing that, I'm going to take that post and I'm going to mount it, anchor it to the wall. I'm going to drill a hole all the way through the brick here, through the drywall on the inside, and I'm going to brace it between the 2x4s with some steel straps. I think it's going to hold very, very well. We'll get the bottom of it off the ground so termites can't get up into the wood and travel into the house, and it will be a very sure and steady brace for this heavy double gate here, because it does going to put a lot of weight on it, and I think having it mounted to the wall here will be just fine. I really don't want to dig into that concrete, especially with our electrical so close. So I'll show you how I'm going to do it on the inside of the wall next. We're going to brace that post from the inside of the house. Now I know where my studs are. I got a stud here, and 16 inches away I have a stud here between my electrical panel and my fishing poles there, and I've got a steel bar here, a plate, and I'm going to cut this 16 inches in between these centers, so I'll have all thread going through the post on the other side, countersunk, coming all the way through the house into the steel plate, which will be supported between two studs. So should hold it very, very secure, and shouldn't have any sagging. So what did Lowe's do this time? You guys might remember a YouTube short I put out not too long ago. I went and got a bunch of rough cut cedar to build our gates and repair our fence. This is a portion of it here. This is most of it. And it was $500, just under $500 for some rough cut cedar, some long 2x4s, and some small planking here. And you're like, Tim, did the price go up? No, the price has gone down actually. I'm gonna have to go back and get a bunch more for the fence. I got enough to get everything I need done today and some other repairs that have to be done. But the price has gone down greatly. So that's not what it is. What did Lowe's do that I'm so excited about? Well guys, I've got my Lowe's card here, and hopefully you've got a Lowe's card too. And when I go to Lowe's and I put this on the self-checkout, zip, right? And I'm purchasing all my materials. When I do that, the register, the self-checkout register says, "Thank you for your military service." Wow, Lowe's. I am excited that you did that. I get 10% off on all my purchases. I get 10% off because I'm a military veteran. And not only do I get 10% off, as I scan this, they tell me thank you for my service every single time. I'm excited about that. Thank you, Lowe's. I do appreciate that. And yes, material prices are going down, and I'm very thankful for that as well. We cut our post to 55 inches to match the other post. Now I've got it flush up with the front of the gate here. Now I need to make sure it's level. Once I got it level, I can score the wall, move the gate, and I'll know exactly where I need to drill my holes. So right there, looks like very, very level. Now score the wall right there. I'll come down here, score the wall here. And then, now that I got that, I can pull everything away and start to drill the holes. We've got 3 holes marked to secure our all thread into our brick wall. Now let's go ahead and start drilling our hole, getting all the way through, and then we can start getting into the masonry. I've got a special drill for that. Got the post secured against the wall. I've got it raised about 1 inch off the ground. Keep termites from getting up in the wood, coming through the crack in the concrete there. Now I'm going to score the brick. Hopefully I'm going to be right on a masonry joint. I'm going to go right through the masonry joint into the wall on the inside and then secure it from there. So let's go and see how close I am. Now I can go ahead and start drilling in using a hammer drill. Hammer drill is a drill that doesn't just spin, it actually pounds this way. So you have axial and radial movement in your drill. And what that does, it pounds into the masonry, the brick, the concrete, and then it drills to evacuate all the material you're pulling out. So a hammer drill is what you use to go into cinder block, brick, concrete. This is our hammer drill. So it goes up and down and it spins. Let's get right in our spot. Let's go all the way through this wall. Now that I've got the holes drilled through the masonry, I can go ahead and poke on through to the drywall, out the other side, and let's try this one. There we go. Get that out of there. One more. Get out of there. There we go. One more. All right, got our hole in our drywall. Of course, our plate will cover that up. I can hammer that back out, get that off from the other side. Now we can start putting our post up. All right, we got 5/16 hardware for our all thread. So I've got a 5/16 washer here, and I've got a 7/8 hole saw, and I'm going to countersink the holes here so the nut and the bolt and the washers and all that are countersunk into our post so that it doesn't interfere with our gate. So I'm going to go in about 1 inch. Now we can get our post put on our all thread. Get it all lined up with each of them. There we go. Up. That one's in. Up. That one's in. Slide them on here. There we are. Go all the way up. Actually, I'll bring the washers to the nuts to the end. That way I can hammer them in a little bit and not mess the threads up. There we are. All right, now I can make sure everything's lined up, push in. I start cutting my steel pieces based on where it was with the stud. On the other side of the stud, I'm just going to do small pieces of that steel strap because the stud's so close to it, and the stud will act as a brace for it. I won't need to go across stud to stud. Going to use my cutoff wheel to cut 4 pieces about 5 inches long to use as my back brace. Perfect, we got 3 pieces now, all ready for our back brace. Go ahead and slide our support brackets on there. Again, the stud is right there, so I think we're gonna be good with just these. Nice and supportive. There we are. And I'll cut these, I'll cut the excess off with a Metabo. All right, now I can paint these to color the wall. We need to paint the interior of our garage anyway, but these will secure our post very, very well. Now for the fun part, let's go ahead and get our lumber cut so we can start assembling our gates, finishing off those 2 large double gates and creating from scratch our man gate. And then we got to put the hardware on and hang the gate. So let's go ahead and get this lumber cut. Have fun. is time to mount our hinge hardware. We've got both our hinge sides on the same side, and we went ahead and pre-drilled all of our holes. That way we don't split our cedar planking. Now we've got hinges for the top and bottom. I went ahead and made up places to do hinges on the middle. I really prefer 6 hinges. I only bought 4 today. I'll come back and put 2 hinges there. And on these middle ones here, I did put backer boards because the screws are so long. I want to make sure that they don't stick out the back side. So backer boards screwed in there. Let's go ahead and mount our hardware. Go ahead and get the first one in like there. Make sure I got it. And then I already again pre-drill the holes. We'll go ahead and just get a few of them started. We've got our gate set up against our post. I've got the gate up on blocks. That way it keeps the proper distance off the ground to match the rest of the fence and the rest of the gates. I got to make sure that we're level. And I've already got it perfectly level with the 2 blocks, perfectly level. So as it goes across, now we'll do the same thing with the other gate. It'll be a little harder there, but now I need to get my screws in here so it holds it in place. One. 2. And 3 should do the trick. Boom, nice and tight. So now this one should stay in place. I'll go ahead and get the bottom ones in, and we'll start on the other gate. I've got this gate lined up. It's a little bit high, but once I get it on, it's going to sag a little bit. That way it should mount up. If I did them perfectly level, it would probably sag down and butt it up. So I've got a little gap between them. It's a little bit high, so now I can go ahead and get it screwed in. We'll see what happens here. This is the one that's most important, this first one, so we'll see if we can get it right. Very first one. Get it started. That secures it in place. Let me go ahead and get the rest of them in, and then we'll check out how it looks whenever it lines up. All right, now guys, the moment of truth. How did our gates match up after we leveled them out? Well, look at that. The space between them is perfect, top to bottom. The top is almost exactly level. The points on all the boards match up. Very, very happy with how these turned out. Now we've got to get our gate latch installed and our cane post. The cane post will keep one gate from moving, which will allow everything to stay still so it doesn't kind of break apart like this. So cane post, gate latch, then we'll be ready to move over to our main gate, and that's going to be fun because we got to start that from scratch. Go ahead and get our gate latch installed. This is super simple. We've lined up where we want it, right in the center. Get that one started. Go and get our last screw in our latch. All right, latch is installed. See how this works? Very, very simply. Holds it in place. Now, without our cane post at the bottom, this will slide back and forth. These 2 gates would move and come out of the latch and break something. So let's go ahead and get the cane post in the bottom and call the double gate done. Got our cane post mounted. Now we got to drill the hole in our concrete so it can stay in place. I've got everything lined up where I want it, so I can go ahead and push this over. Right here is where the hole is going to be. Let's get this hole drilled. All right, we got a pretty good size hole there. Let's get the powder away from it. Oh yeah, see, we're a good, perfect distance down. Go ahead and get that lined up, slide it down in there, and that secures our gate in place. In all transparency, I had to tell you a mistake I made. When I installed the latch, I had the latch arm on this side and the mechanism on this side, but when you do that, you won't be able to open the gate with your cane post on this side. So the cane post and the latch arm need to be on the same side. Note to the wise. Time to assemble our man gate. Now we've got our rough cut cedar already cut out. Make sure we get everything square right there. So now we can go ahead and get our, use 3-inch screws on these, hold them together very, very well. Let's Let's go ahead and get our planking on. We'll cut the cross beams last. Once we get these straight ones on, it'll be much easier to do those. So let's go ahead and get everything lined up here. Once we get these on, yes, this job becomes so much easier. So let's get this one. Get on this end. Everything's lining up perfectly. Don't you love it when you measure twice, cut once? That's what I'm talking about. Get all of this straight. All right. A couple more in each one of these, and we will be in like Flynn. It's fun doing woodworking, especially when you do things yourself. I'm not a professional carpenter. I'm not a professional contractor, construction worker, or anything. Just a dude living on his home, doing his own work, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching us do these kind of things, because I know I really enjoy doing them. When you see the fruits of your labor afterwards and know that you didn't pay someone $1,000 to do it, that's what I'm talking about. All right, let's go ahead and cut the end of this off. All the way there. Same thing on this end. All right, so now let's see if this one's long enough. Maybe it is. Should have the right angle on it, on that end. Perfect. Love when a plan comes together. Perfect. This gate is done. Let's get it hung. I am super pleased with how these gates turned out. Everything is level, everything clears, works great. I'm going to show you the other side. This is the back side. I'll show you the pretty side. Unfortunately, the sun's on the back side. But let's go ahead and check out the other side and see how smooth and even all this looks. Again, I am super pleased how this turned out, how level everything looks. You can see we open up, everything is smooth. I did put the gate opening this way because I didn't have a place to put the hinges and I wanted exterior hinges. So you open it up, everything opens up this way. Very, very neat. I mean, so hard for kids to get in and out, which is what I want also. I really like how this turned out. We've got to paint everything. Before we do that, we've got to repair all of this. Look at all this cypress, all just falling apart here. And of course, you see how we went outside, outside, outside. This one went on the inside. I got to fix this one. The rest of them are like that. We can fix it on those other places where they messed up. But my OCD says that has to be uniform throughout the fence. So yes, Lowe's, they love veterans. And I appreciate Lowe's expressing their appreciation for veterans. When I scan my Lowe's card and it says thank you for your service, I like that. 10% off, that helps as well. So what did Lowe's do now? That's pretty awesome. So guys, until next time, I hope everyone enjoyed today's video. If you haven't subscribed to Ridge Life, take time to do so now. Hit the notification bell to be notified anytime a new video comes out. Hit the thumbs up if you liked today's video. And as always, I hope everyone has a blessed day and go Ridge Life.